Hey everybody, my name's Chris Dreer and this is Mondo Cloud's Microsoft Build Recap for 2025. So Microsoft Build has been a Microsoft event that's been on over the last few days, and it's basically an AI fest. So this is all the benefits that Microsoft have been building into their Copilot stack, their AI solution, and then how it embeds into all the different applications. So we've put a blog post up and I just wanted to take 10-15 minutes just to run through some of the key features that we think are going to be really exciting to come over the next 12 months. Okay, so this is our Microsoft Build 2025 recap blog. Obviously, if you want to take a read through, feel free to head on over to mondocloud.co.uk. It's over in our blog section, and yeah, you should be able to read through that and all our other blogs that we've got up there. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, AI at work. So Microsoft has introduced things such as Copilot tuning. So this allows us to specifically train Microsoft 365 Copilot using our internal data. That means not just a Copilot chat, but we can build agents that can perform specific tasks faster and more accurately while incorporating, your business style, structure, branding, expertise, tone of voice if you're thinking about drafting emails and documents, branding for, or again, emails and documents and that kind of thing. So it's going to allow, only the people that are meant to have access to the original data and have it tuned to your business specifically. This is going to be rolling out from June onwards for 5,000 plus Copilot licenses. Inside Microsoft Teams, we're going to have agent-to-agent protocols for secure communication. So an agent is a AI bot essentially that can do something for you and do a repetitive task. So let's just say you have an agent inside Teams that, as part of a meeting, its action is to put those meeting notes that it's recorded, turn them into actions, or assign them to people based on what was discussed in the meeting. And then maybe it sends out an email to each person with their assigned actions for that meeting and a recap of the meeting. So what we can have now is multiple agents that can talk to each other. So let's just say you're on a sales call with a prospect and you were going through all the meeting, your agent has taken all the notes, and as a follow-up, that agent is then going to hand off to another agent, and maybe that's going to put some information into the sales CRM, and it's going to put all the meeting notes and any actions into your CRM, as well as that first agent maybe doing something, sending like a meeting recap to the customer or something like that. Microsoft also introduced agentic memory for personalizing context-aware experience. So agents inside Teams can now recall past interactions, enabling them to deliver more personalized and contextually relevant responses. So what we mean by that is you've had, 5, 10, 15 conversations with Copilot in the past. But generally, when you start a new conversation, it's not massively aware of previous conversations. Now, the issue is if you're doing a project that's really heavy in use of Copilot and you're trying to get more out of it and you're having multiple conversations just to try and split out that structure a little bit, it may not be aware of what you spoke to it previously. So with this, it will now look at your previous conversations, be aware of what those conversations were. So if you're using different chats to access different parts of a project you're developing with Copilot, then it's going to be aware and give you better responses across the conversations, essentially. We've got automated agent validation, compliance and quality. So developers can now automate compliance checks to ensure that their agents meet Microsoft Store policies. Obviously, this is really important to make sure that they're secure, make sure they're only doing the things that they're meant to be doing, and they're not doing things like, going off and accessing data it shouldn't, essentially. Meeting agents built directly from the meeting service. So developers can now create agents specifically for Teams meetings for both public and private groups directly from the meeting interface. These agents can access meeting notes with new, insights, enabling richer, more informed interactions. Again, coming back to that agent-based piece we talked about, it's where you can have an agent deliver all those additional actions and save you all that, manual effort that you used to do. Copilot Studio. So Copilot Studio is an app Microsoft built out sort of as part of that initial Copilot journey. It's going to enable developers and sometimes not people that aren't developers to be able to build Copilot agents and build Copilot tools using things like code or low code solutions, essentially. So Microsoft released a raft of new solutions as part of this, including things like a new toolkit for Visual Studio to make it streamlined for developers and be able to publish tools inside Visual Studio. So that's a solution that lots of developers use for writing code and things like that. So it's going to just make life a lot easier for them having them built into Visual Studio. Microsoft 365 Copilot APIs. So this is a set of retrieval APIs that's currently in preview. It's going to allow developers to build quicker, more secure, and more context-aware AI experiences from 365. So that's going to be compliance capabilities, power intelligence, and making sure those responses are grounded and only pulling data from inside your environment and not making sure that data leaves your environment. There's now an agent store generally available. The agent store is going to feature agents from Microsoft partners that have published them to the store and customers. It's going to offer personal recommendations, which is going to be really interesting to see how that plays out, because it may then recommend an agent to your business that you've not used before, and you've gone, actually, oh, that's really useful, because it's going to save me, 10, 15 minutes every meeting. It's going to save me an hour a day doing, something I used to do manually, essentially. Dynamics data in Microsoft 365 Copilot is also in private preview. So Copilot users will be able to get access insights from their Dynamics CRM. So we're talking sales, service, supply chain, marketing data. That's going to be so interesting to see how that develops, because it's going to basically streamline things like maybe your CRM's got outreach that you need to do for your outreach tasks for the day. It's going to be able to help you organize those outreach tasks. In some instances, if you've got the right agent, it might help you automate that by sending out maybe a cold email outreach, or even reply to a response that you've had as part of that. So for those sales reps, new business managers out there, it's going to be really interesting to see how that sort of helps streamline and define your processes moving forward. As well as all these advancements in sort of their APIs and how they're developing, they've also implemented a load of low-code tools for makers. So bringing things together like multi-agent collaboration with open standards. So this is going to make things a lot easier for low-code developers to pull your agents together using things like the agent-to-agent protocol we talked about earlier, and making sure obviously it's secure and governed across platforms. We've got the model context protocol support. So this is agents that have consistent governed access to data and models. MCP servers are then going to be plumbed into things like the Dataverse and Dynamics 365. So that's covering your Power Platform as well. And obviously all the data you have behind there in the Dataverse. It's going to extend this across the core business systems. There's a new expanded tool set for agent actions in preview. So Copilot Studio now has a broader range of tools, new prompts, document processing, flows, REST APIs, and ability to have deep reasoning, giving agents more ways to understand and act on data. Coming on to Microsoft 365 Copilot, Wave 2 is finally here. So we're looking at a new redesigned Copilot app for human interaction. That's going to include things like the ChatGPT 4.0 image generation built into Copilot, Copilot Notebook. So that's where it turns your chats into sort of an actual document context inside a Copilot, which is called a Copilot Notebook. It's going to be able to pull that using search and memory, which we talked about earlier, having that ability to go back on previous conversations. And then the researcher and agent and analyst agents, so reasoning agents for reasoning on certain context and helping you dive deeper into those insights when you need it. Copilot in Outlook, so we're talking smarter inbox navigation. So these are marginal gains for me. So for me, I'm always searching inside Outlook, and I always get frustrated when it's not pulling back things that you want, and I might spend 30 seconds here, a minute there. Copilot helping me pull that information back a lot quicker, bringing back the search results, the attached files directly in the emails. It's going to help users quickly understand the content of long threads with complex attachments without opening every message. So for me, it's going to be an absolute game changer. Context-rich meeting preparation, again, something that I spend a lot of time doing if I'm going into a customer meeting that's, a meeting that's come off the back of several other meetings, and we're going through sort of a cadence of interactions to get to an end solution. Sometimes I need a refresher on what I'm walking into if I've been working on lots of different things. So having Copilot pull back, recent summaries, documents, other resources tied to the meeting means that I'm walking in more prepared. So hopefully that'll be something a lot of you will really take great use of in the future. As I mentioned, Copilot Pages, this is going to allow you to create and manage those pages on the go, and even turn those pages into Word documents, which then you can bring in greater collaboration with other users in your organization, as well as obviously having Copilot embedded inside Word as well. Security and compliance, everyone's favorite feature when it comes to AI. Obviously, it goes without saying, security, data, and all that kind of thing is so important when it comes to Copilot, because you don't want anyone accessing data they shouldn't be able to and having Copilot return it. You want to make sure that your data is grounded inside your Microsoft 365 tenant, so it's not being leaked externally. And Microsoft, again, are releasing a vast of tools helping people do that. So you've got the new Microsoft Purview SDK. This is now in preview, so this is going to help developers bake in Microsoft Purview security and compliance features directly into AI apps using REST APIs. So we're talking real-time classification of prompts and responses, alerts for sensitive data access, visibility, security and compliance teams, automatic protection against data leakage, and it's going to help organizations confidently scale Gen AI when staying compliant. Microsoft are also baking in Purview into Azure AI, so we're talking detecting sensitive and unethical AI usage, so such risks such as sensitive data appearing in user prompts, unethical behavior, maybe asking AI for harmful or violent content. So that's going to be obviously really key for securing businesses moving forward. Got to understand the user risk level posture, so admins can view AI usage patterns, and that's going to help them understand the risk level and risk tolerance for the business, help them understand how AI is being used in the organization, as well as receiving actions to mitigate potential threats. Responding to insider threats, so insider risk management is a big thing in enterprise. So making sure no one's acting maliciously, copying unusual volumes of sensitive data, making sure those alerts are being triggered and access revoked if required, using things like adaptive controls. Audit and governance and AI in action. So we're talking making sure all AI activity is logged into Purview for audit. Compliance teams can then apply things like data lifecycle management policies, conduct e-discovery and investigations for non-compliant usage and harmful content. Again, really good from a data governance perspective. Microsoft are also embedding a load of security into Azure AI Foundry using the Defender Cloud feature inside Azure. This is going to do things like look for security posture recommendations for misconfigurations and vulnerabilities. Misconfigurations probably being like the biggest thing out there, because misconfiguration is so common in Azure, and that generally leads to more vulnerabilities and basically being attacked without meaning to, and leaving those gaps open. Threat alerts are things like jailbreaks, data leaks, and wallet abuse. And there's going to be a load of specific AI detection models built into the threat intelligence that Microsoft are sort of keeping under the hood, but that's going to be really useful moving forward. Purview for Studio agents, so organizations can build better customer-facing agents in Copilot. How Purview is going to take its sort of way into that is going to basically prevent exposure to sensitive data, investment records, client info, that kind of thing. And it's going to gain wider visibility into agent activity and potential risks. As well as this, Purview is going to go into data loss prevention controls. It's now going to extend that into Copilot agents. So we're going to accommodate things like labeled content, sensitivity labels. So if you've got things like internal only, confidential, it's going to prevent it being summarized by Copilot. You're also going to prevent sensitive data from being copied, pasted, or used in AI generated responses. Microsoft Entra Agent ID. This is something I'm really excited about. So those agents that I keep talking about, these are the things that can help automate business processes. Each one of them will have access to a certain amount of data inside your organization, depending on what it is you want that agent to do. Inside Entra ID is where you control all your identities for your organization already. These agents are going to have an identity assigned to them, and that's how you're going to be able to basically give it access or revoke access to data in the organization. So you'll be able to see where the creator is, how they understand what the agent can access, and then you can revoke or grant access just like you would a human-related identity. Azure AI Foundry and Compliance Manager. So we're talking integrating Purview Compliance Manager to help developers meet regulatory acts such like the EU AI Act. So this is going to generate compliance reports against the agents and AI apps that are being built, document risks, mitigations, and residual risk, and then share those reports with compliance teams and auditors. So again, there's a whole raft of things Microsoft have done to be able to bake in security and make sure data governance, data compliance, and risk is being mitigated. Power Apps. So into the Power Platform, Microsoft have been implementing a solution workspace which is basically one canvas for everything, which is now generally available. So solution workspace is like a unified development canvas where developers can make and collaborate with AI to define business requirements, generate data models, map processes, and design solution architecture. It's going to bring together things like apps, flows, dashboards, pages, Copilot Studio agents, and it's going to, coming on to the next point down, is going to allow people to do that using natural language. So you can basically talk to Copilot and the AI inside Power Platform and have it create maybe a Power Platform page or a Power App using code. It'll build all the code out for you, and then you can iterate with the AI to be able to build that out. Code first apps on Power Platforms, so developers can also now bring their own preferred tools like Cursor or Visual Studio Code, and I'll give them full control over the code that they bring into these Power Platform apps. AI assistants can then also help write the code, interact with the APIs, while developers contain full editing control. Once these apps are deployed, they can invoke things like flows or agents, much like you would on any other Power Platform app, and that's currently inside an early access program. Power Pages, much like I said earlier, bring your own code with natural language. Makers can bring their own code using Visual Studio and those sorts of code generating tools, but then you can also build your Power Pages just by talking through natural language, which is going to build the shift from that sort of manual creation to maybe getting a proof of concept or a first draft using natural language and then refining it with your capabilities. Multilingual supports for global reach, so it's now generally available. Power Pages expanded its multilingual capability from the previously 45 supported languages, all out of the box, including all its forms, lists, multi-step forms. So that's really nice to expand that Power Platform into greater markets. We've got agent integration for interactive experiences, so makers can now embed agents from Copilot Studio into Power Pages, and these agents can help users securely update things like the dataverse, records, perform tasks. So if you think of anything inside that dataverse, so let's just say you have a flow that will update the records for a load of identities, you can help automate that process using AI agents. Okay, moving on to Dynamics M365. So Dynamics apps can go MCP native. So Microsoft Business apps are now MCP server compliant, which means they can natively participate in agent-driven workflows, which is going to elevate sort of Dynamics capability to fully integrate Microsoft AI into its ecosystem, which again, you think about all the repetitive tasks you may do in your Dynamics sales nav, into your Dynamics CE environments. You can then start using AI to basically automate those processes. Microsoft also introduced cross-app intelligence at scale. So we're talking enterprise running multiple Dynamics 365 instances can now orchestrate intelligent workflows that span across the departments and systems. I'll be honest, I can't wait to see what this does in real life and how people use agents to sort of streamline processes. Yeah, it looks like a really exciting way to unlock new automations and insights. Okay, so wrapping up, Microsoft Build 2025 wasn't just about features, it's all about redefining how we work from AI. Smarter agents, secure, scalable platforms, Microsoft's building the tools to help all your organizations move forward using more automation, more AI, and basically be able to increase things like productivity. It's here to stay. It's definitely a big benefit to most businesses. Obviously, you always got to be careful about how you start putting AI into your business. You don't want to just throw it in there. The key here is about having a roadmap, having a plan, understanding how you're going to start enabling, champions within the business to start using AI securely, doing those data assessments, all the kinds of things you should be doing as part of an AI roadmap. So if any of this has sparked curiosity, feel free to give us a shout, drop us a like on LinkedIn, give us our YouTube a follow. We really appreciate it. And again, any questions, feel free to reach out. Cheers. Thank you.